Alrighty then, folks. I'm gonna see if I can do this, but I don't know if I'm going to because I'm too flaky, got a real job, single father, all that good stuff. So tend to want to do weekly videos and then not. But I just realized I have everything for Warhammer 4th edition, and I haven't really read much of it. And if I start working with them or reviewing them or going over them in little videos, and I even put them into Foundry because I have all the modules, as you could see there in the roll tables. It'd be nice. And also, if you look over, oops, wrong way, that way, right there, those are actually the first edition books. That's how much I loved Warhammer. I bought them all. But those are actually bought back in the day. That was not purchased in any kind of bundle or anything recently. Some of them, I'll have to pull the main bull book and show my notes and my little paper clips that marked the pages, because back then and then it didn't have post-it note stickies. It was paper clips, and they're probably welded onto the paper by now. So I'm going to do a series. What I would like to do is a series that goes over all the books. You have the core rule book, and then you have several source books. I call them city books. It's Altdorf, Mindenheim, and Salzman, and I believe there's also the Sea of Claws, Lustria. I have those books. I don't have the PDFs yet. I have to do that brick and mortar thing and get the PDFs for those. I also need to purchase the Foundry version so I can get them in here because I really love Foundry. There's a starter set. There's a Rough Nights and Hard Days, which is a bunch of adventures as well as some rules. The Enemy Within campaign, of course, recreated, which had each book is basically an adventure book and a companion. The adventure book has all of the important stuff to run the adventure, and the companion has extra rules and whatnot. You have Ubersreich's Adventures 1, 2, and I believe there's a 3 now, which are basically 6 or 7, maybe 8 adventures in each one. You have the Imperial Zoo, the Old World Bundle, which is a bunch of modules that were PDFs that I believe they were free or they were $2 or $3. And they were just adventures. I believe they are reworks of old 1st or 2nd edition adventures and reworked into the new game system. There's Up in Arms, which adds military stuff, and Winds of Magic that adds magic stuff. There are supposedly some rules rewrites or changes or optional rules in Up in Arms and Winds of Magic because of some whining and crying, mainly in Up in Arms about advantage. All I'm going to really say about that is I'm sick and tired of the people of the world that go, this is broken, this doesn't work, this is a flawed rule or a flawed system in this game system, and especially in Warhammer. Because in my opinion, they're not. What people need to say is that not that the system is broken, it is that you don't like the system. Because I read the system, and I read the rule book, the core rule book, cover to cover, a couple of times now over the last several years, and I haven't found any flaws. I have found some rules that, they're going to hurt, they're going to be bad, or like bleeding. People just, oh my God, bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. It's a death sentence. It's like, well, bleeding should be a death sentence. You're bleeding. But there are ways to stop the bleeding in the game, even if you don't have a healer. But if you don't have a healer, you don't have any fate points, you don't have any resolve, you don't have any bandages, you're going to die. Well, guess what? That's kind of how that works. But it's not broken. In my opinion, it's not broken. So people who are on these certain forums, discords, whatever you want to call it, which shall remain nameless. I don't belong to them anymore because I'm tired of the whiny crybaby Karens of the world that have to make their dislike into a community-wide event. You know, it's like, I don't like Chick-fil-A, I don't like Starbucks because they did X, Y, or Z. Now I'm going to make it my lifelong goal in social media to ban these companies or have them change their policies. It's the exact same in the Warhammer community with these rules are broken, advantage is broken, bleeding is broken, this is broken, that is broken. No, the actual comment you're making is you dislike it, you don't like it, so just change it. That's the golden rule in any role-playing game. Some people call it Rule 0, some people call it the golden rule, some people call it the number 1 rule. Change it. But just because it is not to your liking or you decided you want to interpret it the wrong way, doesn't make it broken. But that's enough of me ranting about that. I don't want to go 10 minutes into this video of talking about people's reading comprehension skills or lack thereof, or their choices to do whatever. But people just seem to want to be argumentative or just however. But I like the rules, and I'm going to go over the rules in the little sections and snippets. Before I start, though, the picture that you see before you are Midjourney created images that happened when I basically used what I consider a very simple prompt. For those who don't know, Midjourney is an AI picture generating system. Basically, I said something to the effect, I mean, I can copy it if somebody ever wants it. It is just a portrait, like basically a portrait of a Warhammer fantasy character, simplistic design, and then I would use whatever, like a noble, witch hunter, spellcaster, wizard, whatnot. And these are the images I got. 2 of them are the original images. Like I didn't have to do anything. I just copied them and cut and pasted them and put them together. And 2 of them, I just did variations, and I got the very next variation of one of the 4 images that was given was very nice. And I didn't, other than that, I didn't modify them. So the first one on the left was a Warhammer Fantasy character, simplistic design of a town watchman or guard. No, town watchman. And that's what I got. The next one, of course, was a wizard. The next one is a noble. And then the last one is a witch hunter. And this is what I got. And I think they make an amazing character portraits. And if you zoom in, you could probably take this and turn it into, each one of these, into a token. But I just wanted to show those off real quick. So, oh, and also, since people, for those that don't have Foundry or Warhammer for it, look at this map of the Reichland. This is from the book, but look at it. You can zoom in the detail. And they even have things that you could click on. So you can go and like, oh, look, these are the different glorious places of the Reichland. And you can even go in, and if I wanted to, I could come in and I can add notes into here. So I can add the same the same as these with a link to a journal entry, and I could write it up and say, hey, this. So like, technically, I could go through every single one of these towns, find them in the Gazetter, and put one of these symbols on there that you can click on and have and then there's a GM screen. It is just a copy of the GM screen, so you can actually have this running up when the players, you put the players on a map, And then you could pull this up in the background real quick and be like, oh, okay. You know, me personally, I'm going to run a face-to-face here soon, and I'll have Foundry running up on a computer with a TV downstairs outside under the house to display the maps and whatnot, information to the players, and I'll have this running behind the scenes, and I'll have the book and the GM screen going. But let's go back to character creation real quick. So let's go back over here. I'm going to do it in Foundry and go over it. One of the trends that I noticed in role-playing games throughout the decades, not that I've played much games, I just got back into role-playing about 5 years ago, maybe 10, here and there, on and off, nothing long-term, nothing that worked out, mostly online. But is that back in the 80s, character creation was a lot of random rolls on charts and career paths, and later on it became packages, like, oh, you could get a package and spend these points on certain things. Whereas in more recent times, players seem to want to have more control and more agency over their characters. They want to be able to make the character that they want, and not necessarily like min-max their character, which does happen, but just they want to build what they want to play, because they want to play a certain character, and so they want to build it the way they want to play it, which is perfectly fine. For the Warhammer world, I don't feel that that's perfectly fine, and so when the 4th edition came out, they did what I consider an amazing job in character creation. You have both worlds. You will roll randomly, but then if you decide that you don't like the roll, you don't have to. You can pick. The reason you roll, though, is because you're going to get bonus XP to spend during character creation to better your character. In the basic game, it is 120. With the expansion, one of the expansions that adds star signs, it becomes 140 XP. I do some house rules that brings it up to about 250, which is a lot of XP to start, but I don't think it breaks the game. And it could be a little bit high, because it's almost 100 XP more than somebody who, if they choose to be a certain character. But you'll understand more when you do it. But in reality, I don't consider it a whole lot, because during initial character creation, attribute points are only 25 XP, and skill points, advancements are 10 points, and then up 15 if you get higher. If you spend more than 5 advances, you get to 6 to 10. It's 15, and that it goes up exponentially. As the more points you're putting into a skill, the more experience points you have to spend, which makes sense. But the base thing, for those that don't know anything about Warhammer, it is a D100 system. It is percentiles, so your characteristics are going to be double digits, and you are then going to put advances, which are basically skill levels, percentage points, however you want to consider it, but an advance is points into a skill. You can also put advances into your characteristics as well, but that costs more, but it does affect all your skills across the board. So let's just go into character creation. I am going to pull this one up over here, because this is a this is a duplicate of it, added with sections 3A and 6A, which are one is official and one is my house one. Family details as the my house one, from Apocrypha 2, something of darkness, chart of darkness or something. It was a first edition book that adds some family details, and then Star Sign, which is an official 4th edition one. But I have this in here so players could actually look at it if they wanted to. But the first thing you're going to do is roll a species, and you have your basic ones. Let's go ahead and do it in the Roll20 so you can see. You hit character creation, and you're going to get this little pop-up. And it's going to have all the basics right in here. You tap species. It's going to pull up the species window right here. And you're going to roll. I actually have put in gnome. Well, the original is human, halfling, dwarf, high elf, wood elf. Gnomes were added in Rough Nights and Hard Days. One of the, I believe, Archives of the Empire 2 or 3 adds ogres. So you could put them in there as rollable options. I don't like ogres, so I don't add them in. Gnomes are not bad to me. I like the way they explain the gnomes' existence in there. They have always existed in Warhammer, just kind of faded away in some editions. But basically you roll. I wish they did have the chart, though, here of what the percentage chance to roll a specific race is, because they don't. But there is a table. Oh, I accidentally rolled on it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. We're going to pull that away. That has the percentages, and basically it's something to the effect of, I believe, human is up to 89, 91 is halfling, 91, 92, dwarf is like 2%, gnome is 1%, high elf's 1 or 2%. These are basically 90s, I believe. But you hit roll, it's going to roll the dice. I rolled a 26, bam, it's going to give me a human. It does give me the characteristics over here, and it does give me the skills right here on this side that are your background skills. You're going to get to pick 3 of these skills to start with 5 advances, basically 5% higher. And then you're going to pick 3 of these to get 3 advances, which is 3% higher. You're going to get doomed. You're going to pick savvy or suave, and then you're going to get 3 random talents. That's a basic Reichländer. If I click on one of these other ones down here, let's say I want to be a Nordlander, you'll notice that the skills change. The talents also change. You could get doomed or a random talent, because Nordlanders don't carry about doomings as much as the regular Reichlanders. And then you get fisherman or rover, stout-hearted or very resilient, and 2 random talents. Then it goes on for the humans. It does the same thing for the other races or the other species. It will, but those will change these. If you notice, human doesn't change any of these, because all humans are going to be base 20 plus 2d10 for each stat. You're going to have 2 fate points to begin with, 1 resilient point, and 3 extra points to put into fate and resilience. These are a little more complicated to explain, but and each one has a sub stat. Fate has resolve, resilience has resistance. I think I'll have to go over that again. Oh, you know what? It's right here. Fate and resilience, fortune and resolve. Sorry, fortune and resolve. And basically, fortune is tied to fate. Resolve is tied to resilience. Basically, whatever your max stat is, that's the max that you can have in your fortune. Your max resilience is going to determine your max resolve. You get your fate and resolve back differently. I'll go over that in a little bit in a minute here. Then you have 4 movement points. That just matters. I think gnomes and halflings and dwarves maybe have 3. But if you notice at the bottom, I have human Middenheimer. If I click Reichländer, I still get extra 20 XP. But the moment I click one of these, let's say I click dwarf, notice that goes away. It's 0. Now I can pick clans to change the dwarf abilities to basic dwarfs or one of these 2 major clans. You see these are trying to change, but also look, the stats have changed. Fellowship is a 2d10 plus 10. Willpower, however, is a 2d10 plus 40. They're much more resilient to mental fortitude. But they're slower. See, their agility is a 2d10 plus 10. It's 2d10. That's not going to change. All of these are 2d10. But if you'll notice, the high elf is now 30, 30, 20, 20, 40, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 20. Whereas a gnome, or let's say a halfling, look, he's 10, 30, 10, 20, 20, 20s. Also, you'll notice that halflings have 0 fate to start with and 2 resilience. but they get 3 points to spend. So you can give them fate. The extra points are spent between these two. So I could put all 3 and get 3 fate and keep 2 resilience, or I could do 1 fate and 4 resilience. Gnomes have 2 fate, no resilience. Dwarves have no fate, 2 resilience, but only 2 extra points. And elves have 0s in fate and resilience and only 2 extra points. And it's kind of because their stats are high. And a movement of 5 compared to the gnome that has a 3, a dwarf, and a halfling that are all 3. Movement's going to turn into the number of yards you can move and whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to restart this one real quick. And there's a chart right there for it. And it goes over the actual stats themselves. Oops, sorry. All right, so there we go. Roll the 6. Let's take your Reiklander. I hit submit. It fills it into the character sheet, and it gave me the 20 XP over here. Now I'm going to roll my career. Warhammer has careers that are broken down into 8 classes, and then in each class there are 8 careers. The classes are what you would traditionally think of for classes. There's academics, burghers, courtiers, peasants, rangers, riverfolk, rogues, and warriors. And then, like I said, in each one there are 8 careers. You're going to roll on a chart. It doesn't have it in here in the rule book. Of course, it does it. You, for your species, so humans, dwarves, elves, halflings, gnomes have their own charts. So you roll 1 time. I rolled a 63. That is a huffer. If I take a huffer, I get 50 XP. It's basically, they're, and just in case you don't know what a huffer is, you click on it. Boom. There it is. You have a huffer. Then it talks about the huffer. It's going to give you the schemes on here. And just in short, a huffer is a boat pilot. Like, you know how you have tugboat pilots and whatever large container ship comes into a dock, you have these pilots that know how to maneuver the ship in there, and they know the terrain in the river, the port, etc., etc. But all of those careers are going to have this. It's what they call an advanced scheme. It's going to list 3 basic career attributes or characteristics. In this case, it's weapon skill, toughness, and initiative. Then in here, you have these symbols instead of colors. In the rule book, these are not colored. This one is colored bronze. This one is colored silver. And then the master one, the top one, is the gold. So you have bronze, silver, gold. So when you level up, you'll then unlock. In this case, I'll unlock willpower. Then you unlock intelligence, and then you unlock fellowship. Then there is a list of skills. It's typically 8 skills, but I know some of the expansions are now adding 10, and there are things that can let you add skills to your career listing. It's only important, basically 8 of your skills, any of your listed career skills, have to be advanced in order to move up to the next level. You'll also get 4 talents. Those are the talents that you can put points into. And then you have trappings. Trappings only matter for the first level because you're going to get these trappings. Trappings listed in the other ones, you don't gain them when you level up. You have to try to get them. And it's explained basically that you don't have to have the trappings to do the job or to be that thing, but you're taking a little less seriously. You know, if you're a knight and you don't have a horse and armor and a shield with your chevron emblazoned on it, your heraldry emblazoned on it, then are you really a knight? People are gonna be like, eh. If you're a witch hunter and you don't have pistols and the pointy hat, are you really a witch hunter? Yeah, you can do the job and you have the skills and stuff, but do the people take you seriously enough or not? So you want to try to buy the trappings for the skills, but you don't have to have it. There's nothing I've seen in the rules that say you have to have it to move up or move down, or that you can't, be that career or whatever. That's one important quick note before we move on. These 4 talents are only available while I am at this level of the career. When I get promoted, I lose these and I gain these ones right here that I can then buy. So if you have any talents that you would like to purchase, let's say I want to gain night vision, the night vision talent before I move up, I need to spend the 100 XP and get it before I level up. Something just to note. Okay, so let's say I take the Huffer. Oh, if you don't want to take the 50 XP in Huffer, you're like, I don't want to play Huffer. You can roll 2 more times on the chart. It'll list 2 more. You pick one of the 3, and you're only going to get 25 XP. And I've seen players do that several occasions where they roll 2 more times, and they don't like the other 2. They like the first one better, so they take it for the 25. If you don't like any of those, you could just pick. In Foundry, it's just pulling up the list of the careers, pull them over, drag it over, and you get no extra XP for it. In this case, we're going to take it. Then you're going to go, then the next step here is attributes. And these are, we're going to roll up the attributes. Again, he's human, so it's going to be a 20 all the way across the board plus 2d10 per stat. So we're going to do that real quick. It rolled it up. These are my stats. You can then keep them exactly as you rolled them for 50 XP. Or I can hit rearrange, move them around exactly as they are, and take 25 XP. And you want to do that because, remember my Huffer's advanced career characteristics are weapon skill, toughness, and initiative. I have a 29 weapon skill because I rolled a 9. I have a 29 weapon skill. My toughness is a 36. My initiative is a 38. So I might have been like, oh, look, I really want my willpower to be my weapon skill. I don't really care, so I'm not going to move them around. You could also roll again, you could re-roll them all, or you could just allocate 100 points. And now, mind you, the 100 points is allocated to the plus 20. So if I put 4 points into weapon skill, I would have a 24 out of the 100, and I would have 96 more points to spend amongst the other ones. There are 2 rules on doing the point allocation that kind of persuades me not to do it, which is you have to put a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 18. So I didn't roll anything higher than an 18, so it doesn't matter for my particular character. But had I rolled 3, let's say 3 19s, I might be like, ooh, I don't know if I want to allocate 100 points because I can't put 19 points or 20 points in a skill, in an attribute. And that's for 0 XP. Then you have your alternate, allocate your extra points. I have 3. So I have 2 fate, 1 resilience. Let's say my guy's not going to care about corruption. I don't care if I get corrupted. So I'm going to actually put all 3 into fate. So now I'm going to have a 5 fate. I will have 5 resolve, 1 resilience, and 1... Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1 resolve. The 5 fate goes into 5 fortune. So I'm not going to be able to stop corruption very well, but I can keep myself from dying a lot. Then you also get to put 5 advances into your career characteristics. Obviously, I want to do weapon skill. Oh, I'm sorry. I say obviously. Every stat has a bonus, what they call a characteristic bonus. So you have a WS bonus, weapon skill bonus. You have an initiative bonus, agility bonus, fellowship bonus. It is the tens digit. So my fellowship bonus is a 3. My dexterity bonus is a 2. So my weapon skill is a 29. So if I put 1 point in there, it now becomes a 30. I will have a weapon skill bonus of 3. That's actually added to damage, other skill tests. It matters. Your hit points are going to be your toughness bonus plus times 2 plus your strength bonus plus your willpower bonus, I believe. So I want to put points into those as well. So, as a matter of fact, my toughness is a 36. So I'm just going to put the other 4 points into there to make that actually a 40. So my guy is uber tough. I didn't put it in initiative. I could have put 2 in initiative, and he would react a lot. He would react faster. So just a quick rundown. Weapon skill is what it sounds like. It's you smacking things around with sticks, pointy stuff, poking things. Ballistic skill is throwing things or shooting things like bows and arrows and guns. Strength is what it is. It's physical strengthness. Toughness is your physical fortitude. Avoiding getting sick, marching for long distances, taking damage. You're going to actually subtract your toughness bonus from any damage you take. That's one reason I bumped it up. So I'll subtract 4 from any incoming damage instead of 3. Initiative is, the best way to look at initiative is your quickness of mind. For those in the military or know about military strategies, ODA, your observe, orient, decide, and act. It's how fast you observe, you orient, you decide, and then you act. That's kind of a way to look at initiative. Then you have agility, which is your physical statistics. It's running around, jumping through a window, running, hurtling over something, running in and out of terrain without hitting the trees and the sticks and tripping over stuff. Dexterity is fine motor control. So I'm not very agile or very dexterous either way, because 28 and 25. Intelligence is just exactly the sound. It's your brain power and your ability to learn. Willpower is your mental fortitude. It's the mental version of toughness. It's also your resistance to magic. Fellowship, it's your charisma, and is definitely not a dump stat in this game. So I keep those. I'm going to get 50. Bam. All right, so they plugged in the numbers. And then over here, we're now going to go to, and like I said, see, there's the wounds, determining wounds. So my wounds are going to be my strength bonus, toughness bonus, and willpower bonus. It's my toughness bonus times 2. So what I should have for wounds will be 2. Oh, that does not have. Is 2 plus 8, so 10, and then 3 more for willpower. So 13. That's not bad. Though that strength, I need to check that up. But then we're gonna go to star sign. And then the star sign is like basically your astrology. It's what you're born under. If you take the first roll that you get 25 XP. Or you could choose a star sign. There is, boom, big, huge list of them. So you can go through it. And then over here in one of the books that you can look at it. It's Archives of the Empire 2, I believe. So in this case, I have the sign of the 2 bullocks, sign of fertility and craftsmanship. I can gain 1 level of the craftsman talent. I need not choose the associated trade at this time, but should do so after determining my starting career. But I get a -3 intelligence to it. I mean, I'll take it. I'll see what happens with it. The sign of the 2 bullocks. So my intelligence just dropped down. Then we go to skills and talents. Skills and talents. What you're going to do is you're going to get a race packet of the skills that you can take and the talents that you can choose from or roll, and then you're going to spend those points. You're going to spend points into your career. So I've opened this up. This is going to be all the human ones because that's what I have. I picked 3 for 5 advances and 3 for 3 advances. So my guy is going to be a river guy. He's going to be a huffer. So I want him to be... He needs to be... I want him to be cool. Coolness is skill is basically, oh no, things are starting to stress out around you. It's like, how well do you keep your head? I'm also going to put him in, give him some gossip too, because he's like, when he's doing riverboat stuff, he's talking to people and learning things about where they've traveled and information, and he can give them or feed them gossip as well. And then maybe he buys stuff. I was going to do animal care, but being on a boat, I don't think he's going to deal with it. Let's do haggling, so he can haggle and bring prices up and down. Maybe he likes to buy stuff from the boat people that come in that he helps out. I'm going to give him melee basic for being able to handle himself in there in case of bad things happening. Maybe he eventually wants to... No, I'm going to have him pick up some Wastelander because of that, and then charm. It'd be a little charming there. Then you have your talents. You start with Doomed. And for humans, you have a Dooming. It is basically when you're 10 years old, the Priest of War is going to come foretell your death. And it is going to be cryptic. I'm actually going to hit it to just create one. You can get with your Game Master to decide on what it is. And it needs to be cryptic. because there's a game mechanic on this one. In this case, I randomly rolled a dooming. There is a chart in one of the GM's guides, maybe it is. But there's one out there you can roll on. But in freezing mist shall thee be swallowed. So freezing fog is going to scare my character to no end. If you die befitting your dooming in a way that you can try to justify your dooming fits it, you take half of your accrued experience points and use them, and may use them in the creation of your next character. So that's really neato. Then I have Savvy and Suave. I choose between the two. Savvy is going to add 5 points into intelligence. Suave is going to add 5 points into fellowship. So I could jack my fellowship up to a 35. I think I will. Because I could put it into intelligence to bring him back up. Because remember, he took the star sign that jacked it down. That made him not as smart. But I think he's going to be one of those, you know, like the Forrest Gump. He said, I'm not a smart man, but I know boats. So I'm going to put it in the swap. So it's going to jack that up. Then as a human, you roll 3 random talents. There is a chart for the random talents that everybody rolls on. It's not a different chart for each race, but different races get only 1, 2 rolls on it. I grab it. I ended up with Craftsman, Sturdy, and Orientation. Orientation, I believe I always know where north is, and I can use the stars and trees. Okay, that's good for being on the boat. Sturdy, I have a brawny physique. I'm very used to carrying things. I can increase my encumbrance by my Sturdy level ×2. So I can carry 2 extra points of encumbrance than a normal character. And then Craftsman, I'm going to get to pick another trade skill. So I'm actually going to have 2 because my star sign is going to give me a trade, and then I also gained a trade. So he's going to have extra. I like that. Then once that's done, I'm also now going to get 40 points to spend in my career skills. These were the skills listed for my particular career. None of them... Oh, Gossip. I already have 5 in Gossip, so I don't have to put 5 more points in Gossip. Remember, in order to advance, you need to put 5 points in 8 of your career skills and 5 points in each of your career attributes. So I'm just going to put 5 there, 5 here, 5 here, 5 in the lore, 5 in perception, 5 in row, and 5 in swim. I have 5 points left. I could put it in Gossip, but I'm going to have 5, so it's going to be... I'm going to have a check off in there. I'm actually going to dump those extra into perception. He's going to be, or I could do consume alcohol. Ooh. All right. Then I choose 1 career talent. I can either be a fisherman, get night vision, orientation, or waterman. Waterman means I'm an experienced freshwater sailor and well-versed with river vessels. You can ignore all negatives to your tests when on board a barge derived from rolling waves, swaying vessels, unshore footing, and similar. Further, you count as 2 boatmen towards the minimum number of crew to pilot a river vessel. Ooh, that's exciting. Fisherman is you can forage for food by fishing and getting them. Night vision is just that you can see at night up to 20 yards per level in night vision, and you can extend the effective illumination distance of light sources 20 yards. So a torch will actually light out. You can see a little bit further because of the light of the torch. Man, I almost want to get that one, but I really like Waterman because my guy wants to be a bow guy. I may have spent an extra 100 points in to get night vision, but I really like Waterman, so we're going to take that one. Bam. Plugs it all in. That's my skills in TED. Then we go to trapping. Oh, sorry. Trappings. Trappings is next. What they do on trappings is each career class, academic, burger, peasant, ranger, riverfolk, and rogues, gets a certain packet. So as a riverfolk, all riverfolk get a cloak, clothing, dagger, pouch, a sling bag with a flask of spirits. Then each career itself is then going to give me gear and equipment. In this case, I need to do the sling bag, so we come over to the pendiums real quick. because it's worded a certain way. It's kind of they put it in here. So I want a sling. Oh, sorry, sling bag, and I need a flask of spirits. There it is. So we're going to remove that because I actually have the items. I need a storm lantern. There it is, storm lantern. Boom, and some oil. It is lamp oil. All right, boom. I can take those both off. If for whatever reason, like oil was not listed here and I needed to use it as an equipment, or the storm lantern wasn't, you leave it on here and put keep, and it'll create an item. Then you have income. So my career of Huffer, boom, is a brass 4. So this is what they call status level. So my status level is brass 4, Huffer silver 1, and at Master Pilot's only silver 5. You have brass 1 through 5, silver 1 through 5, and gold 1 through 5. And you just kind of have to just basically think of them as lower class, middle class, and upper class, or nobility. And then within each one, it is your standing within each one. I'm a brass 4, so I'm kind of high on the brass, the peasant and lowly tier. So I'm definitely higher than like a peasant and other working class. In the silver, if you're silver 1, you're a lower class middle the guy, but if you're a silver 5, maybe you're a merchant, you're higher on the class down. And the same for gold 1 to gold 5. During character creation, you're going to, oops, I didn't mean to close that, but that's okay. You're going to roll the income. It is going to be your tier 2d10 plus your level, your status level, in either pennies, silver, or silver. So if I was a silver 2, I would roll 4d10 and get that many silver. In my case, I was a brass 4, so I'm going to roll 8d10 and get that many pennies. I got 34. And then gold, if you're gold 1 through 5, you just get that many gold coins. So if you're a gold 1, you'll get 1 gold coin to start the game. And you can use that. So, all right. Next, after that, is going to be adding details. This is where you get your name, height. Yeah, height, hair color, age, and basically humans are going to start from 16 to 25 years old. Dwarves, elves, and halflings have their own charts or whatever, but you go there to adding detail. So we're going to do gender, male. I'm going to randomly roll name, and in my Luitpold Zeissholz, if you take a random generator roll, I give you 10 XP. And then you roll your age, height, eye color, hair color, and then motivation. You can pick your motivation. Motivation is just something that drives your character. It can be one word or a short phrase. You know, I'm motivated by riches. I'm motivated by fame. I'm motivated by vengeance. I'm just going to randomly roll. I don't give characters anything bonus for that. So it could be control. I'll roll again just so you can see a couple of them. Change. Ruin. And back to change. So we roll change twice. We'll just keep it. There's a GM screen, I think, defines them a little bit more, and so you can kind of like your character is just motivated by change. The world is in constant change, and if he can help that change, he's going to do that. Then you have short-term ambitions. I just, for this one, for lack of a better, we're going to become full-fledged Huffer. Maybe get a shield. That could be a short-term ambition. Long-term ambition is to own his own river barge and travel the rivers of the empire. The empire And these matter because short-term ambitions have a game mechanic that if whenever you accomplish a short-term ambition, you get 50 XP. These should be things that you can possibly accomplish within 2 or 3 gaming sessions. Long-term ambitions are way down the road, and when you accomplish them, you can retire the character and take half the XP and give it to your next character. Your character becomes an NPC, which your game master should absolutely 100% utilize and have interact with the characters, or even with a new group should you ever run a new group. Or you can get 500 XP to spend on your characters. So, and then what I do is if you roll the name, you get 10 XP. If you roll your age, height, and eye color, hair color, you get another 20 XP. And then what I do is I also do allow family details. This is from the Apocrypha to Chart of Darkness or whatever. And I actually created, I'll enable it real quick. Where is it? Display capture, is it? Window capture. Let me double check. It is not that one. So it is the display capture, maybe. There it is. Okay, so I created a Google sheet that has all these little sections in here, which it checks to create this, and then you fill this part out right here. So for my particular character, I am 20 years old and I'm only 5'3". So I'm going to go into my generator and I'm going to put 20 years old. It needs that to calculate the children and parents. I'm only 5'3". And then I usually hit 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. There I am. So I'm 145 pounds. It created that off of a fancy chart for weight. It's basically this chart, and then it rolls first to see if you're puny, light, average, heavy, or massive framed. In this case, I rolled a 3 for average, and then it rolls a chart here, and then it also adds your height. I'm only 5'3", so I had a minus 2d10 to my weight, and it gives you a final weight. But it all figures that all out for me. Oh, shoot, I didn't realize. Hold on. I didn't realize that right here. I gotta fix that. There we go. So, and then I usually come over here to the second page where it says copy and paste it, and then I paste it as values only. So, partially merged. Oh, shoot. I need 2 down. 2 rows below. These are going to have to be merged. And then merge this one. And then this one is also going to get to merge. And then this gets, sorry, I had to fix my thing. I did something earlier to it. So I needed to, oh, oopsies. There we go. All right, now I should be able to now paste values. There we go. So, I don't need the hometown, because if it was rolling it in for my character, for my game, you would be from this fictional town that I created to start all the characters off in. But Flusburg, Reichland, so you could go find that on the map, and these are actual towns. They're actually from one of the gazetters. But my distinguishing mark is that I'm a huge framed guy. So I kind of picture him, since he's only 5'3", 145 pounds, but he's a huge frame, so he weighs a lot. So he's like a fire plug. Both my parents are deceased. Sorry, let's do it that way. I'm an only child, and these would be your parents' age based off of if they were alive. So I could say they've died recently, or maybe I'll figure out a way to do it, but they passed away at some point in my character's life. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this data. I'm actually going to turn the screen off right now. There you go, guys. And plug it in. So I'm going to plug, oh, sorry, I'm not going to plug it in. I'm going to actually hit submit. Because once you've done adding all this, you actually can submit. You hit submit, and it's going to create you a character. There, oh, I love this feature. I totally forgot about it. When there's something that requires you to pick a specialization, such as in this case a trade, I have to pick a trade. Do I want to be an embalmer, a tanner, a carpenter, a cook, a calligrapher, a chandler, a smith, or an apothecary? In this case, I'm going to choose carpenter. That seems appropriate for a boat guy to be a carpenter. However, I have craftsman twice. There it is, to be determined. So I need to pick another craft, which I may pick, but it had me do carpenter down here. Oh, I wonder, I'll have to look in the rules. Maybe I can, because it says I can do carpenter twice. That's what this 1 to 2. So maybe I just up carpenter twice. That would be nice. You know what? I'm going to do that. Let's just remove this one and raise. Oh, it doesn't say. Nope, didn't mean to do that one. Huh, all right, that's okay. But for dooming, where's my doomed? There's my doomed. I'm going to open up my doomed and edit it real quick. I'm going to put, actually, I'll put it up here. In freezing mist shall thee be swallowed. So I'm going to be really afraid of fogs when it's cold. All right. Not sure how it lets me. Huh. I will figure that out later. But in the meantime, let me go back to here. So, there it is. Craftsman. There we go. It let me pick again. Maybe I can do carpenter again. Boom. Yeah, let me take it twice. There we go. All right, so I got it twice. I don't know if I can actually do that, but I'll double check that. I don't think this character is going to get played. I may make him an NPC in my campaign, in Carbach. But okay, so there's your main sheet right here. My distinguishing mark is huge frame. My weight is 145 pounds, and for some reason this doesn't include that symbol, so we'll put that in there. All right. So my career characteristics have this plus symbol, so that's where I can spend points, experience points, and it'll actually calculate it and spend it appropriately. And you can right-click to add, left-click to spend the 25 XP, right-click to remove it. And so you have your initial stats, you have your advances, and this is your total down here. My movement score is a 4, so that means I can move about 4 miles an hour when I'm walking around. I can walk 8 yards and run 16 yards in a combat turn. I have 5 fortune, 5 fate. I have 1 resolve and 1 resilience. I have 13 wounds. My critical wounds I can hold is up to my toughness bonus. So since my toughness is a 40, I can take up to 4 critical wounds. Basically, if you're at 0 wounds and you're unconscious, you die if you take equal to or more. I'll have to look it up, but it's either 4 or 5 critical wounds and I would die. I can hold up to 7 corruption. Corruption is going to be your willpower plus your toughness bonuses. So I have 4 and a 3, so that's 7. Once you exceed, again, I don't know if it's equal to or exceed, so it's 7 or 8 corruption, I then have to make a test to see if I mutate. And you mutate based on what kind of corruption you are subject to. So if I'm there's like a demon that is challenging us, and he scares me, I might take a mental mutation. But if I'm I'm around a corrupt cultist area or warp stone or something, I might take a mental mutation. This is my experience listing here. And this is where you can hit if you've completed it, if it's your current, what your level as at it, it lists your skills and whatnot that you can look at. So if you needed to pay attention to any of that. Then you have your skills. So skills, again, in Foundry, you're going to have checkboxes, and they're going to be pluses like the attributes were if they're not, you didn't get the 5 advances. So once you advance out of this, you'll need 10. And then you need 15, and then you need 20 points in 8 of your career skills. I've got all of them checked off right now. And so your skills are going to be your controlling characteristic plus any advances that you have in it. So I have a willpower of 37 and I have 5 advances, so I have a 42 base. So when I hit this to roll, I'm going to be rolling against a 42, barring any modifiers. The important distinction on skills is going to be basic skills and advanced skills. Basic skills are any skill that you can try no matter what. So I can try to bribe anybody. I don't have to have any skills, and I do it off my base fellowship of 39. I can do an athletics chest, so I can try to dive through a window or run through a bar, run across a bar to go help my friend, or it's like, oh my god, I see the deer head mounting's going to fall on the bar wench. I try to run over there, I'm going to 28% chance. But if I had points in agility, then it would be higher. So you can do any of these. So you can see that these skills are pretty basic. There are things that make sense that you should be able to try to do. Charming in, I'm like, good doggy, good doggy. Dodge out of the way of stuff. Drive a cart. Gossip, gamble, navigate, do outdoor survival, perception, or row a boat. Notice swim is not here. Swim is over here in advanced skills. Advanced skills are skills you cannot take unless you have a point in them. So in my example that I just gave is swim. So swim is based on your strength. It is a 28 for me. If I got pushed in the water, I could not make a swim test. I would just start drowning because I didn't have swim. In this case, I have 5 points of swim, so I can take a test, and it makes sense for a vast majority of these. You can't try to speak a language you have no clue about. You can't do healing or medical. You can't. Now I gotta check because I think stealth is a basic skill. So it's over here under grouped, which I hate when they do that. Yeah, it's a basic skill, so that's annoying. I don't like that. Because stealth check, you should be able to make it stealth check. It's a basic skill. But swimming is an advanced skill, so you cannot do it. So I don't like that they put them. I want to be able to distinguish the difference. All right, so. Oh, trade carpenter. Oh, I do need to add that. Dang it. Shoot. So I get trade carpenter because I got the talent craftsman carpenter. But, so it's added to my list of career skills. I had that 5 and something because I put right there perception. They gave me a 48 perception. I'm actually going to bump that back down. All right, so that brings it back down to a 5 because it's now, see, I have a negative 75, but that's so I can put it back over here because I'm going to put the 5 here into trade carpenter. Oh, because it was above the spent total, so I need to zero that out. And the reason I did that, if you notice, I did that because in your notes section, there is a note that adds why did I subtract points. Because I wanted to put it back down to 45 in there to that. Okay, so there's my talents. Talents are pretty nifty. There are some talents that you can take twice. Like, for example, Sturdy, I could take it one more time. Because I believe that's I can take it with my strength bonus number of times. So if I put 2 more points into strength, I could actually take this a 3rd time. Because remember, Sturdy lets me carry 2 extra encumbrance value per point of Sturdy. So if I got it a 2nd time, I could carry 4 extra encumbrance. Orientation, navigation, apparently I could do it a couple more times. My Craftsman I did twice. Waterman as well. And other than giving straight up bonuses, like for example, Suave just gave a straight up +5 to my fellowship characteristic right off the bat. Sturdy gives points to my encumbrance. Your talents can also give a bonus to skill tests. So example, with Waterman, any sailing test for river going vessels, I will gain a +1 success level on any successful test. Same for Craftsman when I'm doing Trade Carpenter. For Orientation, when I take navigation tests, but you have to succeed at the test. Oh, then look, you can click on this. If I got Fisherman, I could say, yes, I want to spend 100 XP to become a Fisherman, or I can get it for free because the Game Master let me, or something occurred in which I could. Then you have Combat. Combat's going to have it's going to show your armor points and your weapons and stuff. Oh, an advantage, which we'll go over. I'll go over. I think that might be the next chapter next time I do a video. But my weapon's not showing. Oh, well, that's cool. I can turn on my Storm Lantern. That's kind of cool. I don't know what it does, but all right. Trappings. That's what it is. I'm sorry. It's trappings. Dagger. Boop. I clicked equipped. So now under combat, there it is. So I have my dagger. If it was in my offhand, I would click here because you get a minus 20% to offhand attacks or whatever. My damage is a +4. So this is a dagger I think a dagger is nothing. It's just straight up your strength bonus +2. Is that what it is? And then reach is very short, so I have trouble attacking players with regular swords with a dagger. But again, we'll go over that in combat. So I have a boat hook, which is a hand weapon. I can put that in my hand as well. So now I have 2. So if I was doing both, I would then have to do the offhand. Click that to be an offhand weapon, because you could carry 2 weapons, but you're not going to be able to use both, and you use your offhand at a minus. But let's say I don't have the dagger equipped. I have a cloak. I'm going to wear the cloak, wear my clothing. If you notice, see the encumbrance value is a 1, but when you wear it, it went down to 0. Basically, encumbrance in the Warhammer 4th edition is different than the other ones, whereas before it's like you could carry 120 points of encumbrance and everything had a 13, 25, 80, 66. Carrying a dwarf was 100. Now it's just basically small items are 0, average items are 1, 1-ish, a sword encumbrance is 1, a little bag, a box, or something bulky like a big bastard sword, or something is 2, and then there's 3 for super heavy or whatever. Any item you wear is reduced by 1. So if I had like a heavy cloak with a hood and it's a encumbrance value of 2, then if I'm wearing it, it goes to a 1. And in this case, these clothings both go to 0. I have a sling bag, which I'm going to wear, and I'm going to wear the pouch too. I'm going to put the lamp oil in the sling bag. The sling bag can carry 2 encumbrance value. My flask of spirits will be in the sling bag. My storm lantern is 1 encumbrance. I could technically put it in the sling bag as well for now. Yeah, see, it carries 1 of 2. And then the pouch could carry my dagger or something if I wanted to do it. But you can play with the trappings and whatever. And you notice, see this little bar moved up and down? So if I take the Storm Lantern out, Oops. I don't know how to take it out, but if I took it out, this would go up. You can convert your coinage up and down because 12 brass pennies equals a shilling, I believe. The way it's 12 pennies to a shilling, 20 shillings to a crown, so a crown is 240 brass pennies. I have 34 pennies to spend. Then you have notes that you can put in here, in which case I am actually going to put in some quick notes because I actually like this character now. So I'm going to put in, under just regular notes down here, we're going to put in... I don't need the distinguishing mark. Sorry, that was on the first. But father, deceased, would be 41. I'll figure that out later. Mother, deceased, would be 39. Only child. Only child. So I have no brothers. There we go. So we have those. Oh, and then the last thing that I like to do is this one right here. I have these little hop bar things down here. What it is this is the random name, random details of my my height, age, hair color, eye color, my random family details of my family, and then my distinguishing mark. This is just a quick thing that allows me, you can actually do it as a, you know, unlike Dan in Kapapa. See, I could create one like that. So, and then, but basically what this does is it allows you, if you have your character on the board, but I'm gonna put my little guy right there. I click on him and I target him, which I know is T for me. So he's targeted. I then can go in here and hit, random name. I clicked it. You see I'm at 155. And unfortunately, I have to do it each time. That was the random name. Random physical. Click on him and target. Random family. Oh, good lord. Target. Target. There we go. So I'm just going to delete those so I don't have them bothering. But you can put those in, the players can, as long as they target their token and do this, they can do it. And I need to change this because when you're clicked on the token here, it blacks out the screen. I need to change that in there, but that's okay. Vision disabled. There we go. Updated token. So here's the token for my character. I'll just zoom in so you guys can see it. And then so you can put a token and image in there and move them around. I can also, oh, you know what I could also do is decide that his identity is just his first name. We don't need his last name. Lutbold. Boom. There we go. All right. But see, now I have 250 XP. So I can go in here now and raise my stats up, which I really want to do with initiative. So we're going to spend the 50 XP to now have a 40 initiative. I'm going to go over to my weapon skill. Oh, no, actually, these are already up. I have 200 points left to spend. That would be 8 more skill points. Ooh, that's tempting, but I really want night vision. So I'm going to take night vision. So now I have night vision, perception in low light conditions. And I have 100 XP to spend, which I'm then going to put. I'll put 1 in toughness just to check it off. And then a couple more in initiative. And then maybe, no, you know what? I'll just put them all. So my weapon skill is only a 30. I am going to be so crappy. Oh, no, I got 33 because of, it was a background skill. But that's it. That's my character. But that's advances. And the advances, the way they work real quick is right here. So your first 5 advances are 25 points in characteristics, 10 points for skills. The next 5, 6 to 10 is 30 and 15, and so on. 40 to 20, 50 to 30, 70 to 40. And that's what you spend. And then the way it works for leveling up, so to speak, is when you have no career, when you're in your first career, it takes 5 points in 8 of your career skills, 5 advances in 3 of the 3 characteristics, and then your career is considered and 1 talent, which you gained automatically at the beginning. You then can complete the career. At that point that the career is completed, you then can spend an extra 100 XP to move to the next level of your current career. So I would go from River Guide to actual Huffer. When I do that, I would gain that extra stat, which I think was intellect or agility, whatever it was. Let's go ahead and take a look just so we can give you a little bit of an overview. Bam. So for the Huffer career, if I leveled up, if I got the, which I do have all the skills right now, I just need for this particular character, what I need is 4 more points in weapon skill. So I need another 100 XP, and I would be able to be completed. Then I would spend an extra 100. So at 200 more XP, I could then move up to Huffer. When that happens, I then get these skills added to that, which I already have cool. See, I have 5 in cool already, so I would need to just add 5 more in cool. But these skills get added to these skills, and you have to have 8 of them at 10. And then I add willpower to my list of main attributes. So I would add 5 points 10 points in that, and 10 points in all of them. All 4 have to be at 10 points. And then I have to pick 1 talent from this list: River Guide, Nose for Trouble, Etiquette, Gilder, and Dealmaker. And then I would be ready to complete the career. And again, I would be able to spend another 100 XP, and I could become a pilot. Now, for those that don't want to, let's say you rolled up a River Guide and you wanted the 50 XP to raise up your character. When you complete the career, get the 5 points in these skills, 5 points in the things, you could then choose to go to a level 1 career in any one of the river folk within your class. So if I was a warrior, I could go to if I was a cavalryman, I could go become a soldier. I could become a warrior priest. In this case, I could become a seaman, a smuggler, a wrecker, a river warden, a river person, a boatman. Or you could spend the 100 XP and go into a random career in another class. So you could be like, I don't want to be a river person. I never wanted to be a river person. It was my family that drove me to it. I complete the career and I spend 100 XP, and then I randomly roll a warrior career. Or let's say I want to become a rogue. I would randomly roll a rogue career. That would be then the other option to do is, before you complete your career, you can spend an extra 100 XP to do those options as well. So you could choose to spend, like right now, I haven't completed Huffer. I could choose to spend 200 XP and pick another Riverfolk career and say, hey, I don't want to be a Huffer, I want to be a smuggler. 200 XP and I move over to smuggler right now. Or I could spend 200 XP and move over to, 300 XP. Sorry, it's 300 XP because it's not completed and it's an outside my career. To randomly roll in the other one, and that's where I messed up. Sorry. So when in a completed career, it's 100 to go to another in your class, and it's 200 to randomly roll in another one. But that's it. So I don't want this to go too long. So there it is, and we have a class. If anybody happens to be running a game, I got a river guy that's willing to jump in. I would love to play this game. I have not played in 20, 30 years. But have a good one. I'll see you around the table.